Looks like I'm live. It's been a day of mixed blessings. I've had kind of ups and downs today. I still cannot hear out of this ear, and I'm doing some stuff to hopefully take care of that. I'm hoping not to have to go to a doctor, but that's not looking promising. I actually lost a patron today on there, and that was kind of disappointing, to say the least. Two of my videos got demonetized. Hey, Wheels. But on the good side of things, my better half is home and safe, and that's good. Sometimes, yo, Michelle, it's been an up and down night. We are talking tonight, where we're going to continue our conversation we started yesterday about the surprising Scream Factory out of print announcement, which we're finding out is those toys are going out of print. Hey, Kat. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. I really do. That are kind of like disappearing really quickly. Where we're going to be talking about the movies that I did look at last night when I couldn't sleep, and I watched the Sleepaway Camp Trilogy. Since 2 and 3 are out of print now, are going out of print. Oh, thanks. It's my Pet Cemetery one, and I know you like that. I thought we'd talk about these and mention that we can get into that. But first, I got a couple things. One that I'd pre-ordered a long time ago that wasn't supposed to come out till the 15th, came early. Excited about that. Another one that my better half surprised me with. So we'll go with that one first. But first, I got a couple magazines that she brought home for me, which I will kind of show on here really quickly. Hey, Danny. Hey, Amy. Just liked it? Well, some people did, actually. But hopefully I can win you over tonight. So she brought me home the September, October, basically the Halloween edition of Rue Morgue magazine. And it's actually pretty cool. It's Rue Morgue, so you know it's pretty cool. There's some really great stuff in here, and I can't wait to go reading it, which I will do when I get to work, because I'm not going to read it before then. My God, there's people like dropping off even before I show anything. Sorry, guys, I'm just not in the best mood. Not a problem. That is what I am here for. I'll always have it when I can. That is awesome, Dan. And I got this, Scary Monsters magazine, which apparently has been around for 114 issues, and I think this is my first issue. But it is werewolves, so I'm intrigued, and I love the cover. Now for the movie stuff you guys are here for. And then we'll talk about Sleepaway Camp. So, she grabbed me a movie that she knew I wanted, and the features on here are unbelievable. Thanks. Watching Bad Blood tonight. Actually, oh, nice. Hey, Joey. It's my first for scary monsters. It really is. So she grabbed me this, Vice Squad. Now, if you've never seen this movie, it's a nice little kind of like slice of time type of film. It's pretty bleak, to be honest with you. But it's one that I'd wanted for a while. And the reason is that rather than do like a typical like 10 or 15-minute interview with people on here, the interview like Gary Sherman, Brian Frankish, Gary Swanson, Beverly Todd, and Michael Ensign. But they don't do short interviews. They do anywhere between like 45 to an hour long, sometimes like 7-minute interviews. And in a lot of cases, their career they're pretty much career perspectives, like career retrospectives. They talk about, not just this film, but all of their films. And when I found that out, I was super stoked to get this one here. It's on Shudder. Michelle, there's like over 5 hours of interviews on here. You need to own this. Trust me on this one. But if you want to check it out on Shudder before you buy it. So let's find out what the other artwork is. I hate when they're Wings Hauser and Season Hubley. Good one here. I think Wings Hauser's character is Ramrod. I'm pretty sure that's the name of his character. It's been years since I've seen this movie. It's been out of print for a long time. So let us check out the alternate artwork. Ah, that's what I remember. So that's the alternate artwork for Vice Squad. I don't know if I'll switch it around. Nice picture of Wings. Swim. Bay of Blood is awesome, by the way. So maybe I'll switch it around. I'm not sure yet. I do like the new artwork. I do. Although some people didn't really dig it. I kind of enjoyed it. So, very cool film. Thank you to my better half for that. Logan's going to kick himself for not being here for this. So, this came today. What kind of makes this a big deal is this doesn't get released for 4 days. This gets released next Tuesday. But I got it now. I was a little disappointed that there's no slipcover for this release. But, you know, it is what it is. Grindhouse Tampa, that is awesome. Say hi for me. Really cool guy there, man. Island of Blood. So let's open this up. Okay, so it is, again, a 6-disc set. I won't go into too much into this. Did I hear about Robert Forster? What happened with Robert Forster? No, obviously I did not. Because I'm asking, did he pass away too? I'm always finding out about the stuff on video. If that's the case, then rest in peace, Robert Forster. Damn, we lost another one. All right. No thing on the inside to tell you what's actually on the disc, so kind of disappointing there. It's been an up and down for me today. You watched All to Death, did you? It's a good film. There's a good twist at the end. I actually did enjoy that one. Nico Mastorakis. All right. I know what you're going to say before you even start. When I say Sleepaway Camp Trilogy, you're going to say, but isn't there more Sleepaway Camp? Isn't there like something else? You're right. There was like a 4th film that was that was kind of made that didn't get finished. And then you're going to say, what about, wasn't there a Return to Sleepaway Camp? I don't remember. Just because it might be my collection doesn't mean I remember it existing. So there are 3 Sleepaway Camp films to date. I would even kind of include the 4th one with the different actress that didn't get finished, so they recycled a lot of footage. Actually, I think, what's his last role? I own it too. But we're sticking with the Scream Factory ones. As you guys know, these 2 went out of print yesterday. Well, they were listed as, being out of print. That being said, this one is completely out of print. This one, the last time I checked when I was at work today, you still had a chance of getting it. So Anybody that's picked up this one and picked up this one and said, I'll pass on this one, grab it. Like seriously, this isn't that bad a film. Go watch Return to Sleepaway Camp and tell me that Sleepaway Camp 3 it's a problematic entry in this series. I think not. All right, so we'll start with the first Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, you need part 3 too, Michelle. Part 3 is gives because part 2 has that first part of that documentary, which is finished in part 3. Smart move, Joey. A few people were running to grabbing to get stuff. Let me tell you, there is not just an audio commentary, Michelle, not just behind the scenes footage, not just deleted scenes, but A Tale of Two Sequels, Part 2, New Victims and New Horizons. Now, what is one thing we've learned about films that are not being known as good as like previous sequels? Movies like Maniac Cop 3, stuff like that. What usually happens with a film like that is their behind the scenes features, their making of, tend to be more interesting than the makings of the previous, more successful films. Why? Because there were issues, there are problems, there's stuff behind the scenes that you want to know, because you want to know how something got from this level to this level, or in the case of Maniac Cop 3, to this level. Making of good films are fun. Making of bad films are glorious. And the cut scenes are actually here. They actually do have the cut sequences in the pretty much in the film. The MPA was not their friend, so we'll get to it though. Let's get to that. But I still think everybody should own the 3 Scream Factories. After all, let's do this too. I would do this to you as well. Look how sexy they look. Look how good this would look on a shelf. One thing I do have to say is that the cover for part 3 is actually better than the cover for part 2. Can make it black. Oh, nice. Maniac Cop 3 is a good one to get. I think Blood Underground. Was it Blood Underground put that out? Or was it? Yeah, I think it's Blood Underground. Great making of, by the way. I'll get into that maybe later on. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Because the Maniac Cop series, as you guys know, they just announced there's a TV series. They're rebooting Maniac Cop. Well, they would have to do that because the actor that played Maniac Cop, Robert Z'Dar, has passed away. It's Robert Forster and Robert Z'Dar. Making great movies up above. So, the original Sleepaway Camp is a fun film. It works well, despite, aside from Felissa Rose and a couple people, having some pretty bad acting. And honestly, some really bad acting. She's great. She really is. But a lot of the other actors in this film, you can tell that they chose people based on the age. But, yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you one thing. The kids in this film are actually better than some of the adult actors. Like the really buff counselor. That being said, some people would say this film is probably remembered mostly because of its shock ending, which I won't give away for anybody that hasn't seen a movie that came out in 1983. Still, and has never stumbled across. Oh, you got to see part 2. And you know that, like, the guy that played Freddy in the newest Freddy film is in part 3? Jackie Earle Haley? Actually, it's the best part of part three, Maniac Cop, actually, to be honest with you. His kind of subplot is probably the best part. So, a fun film overall. There's some great kills. One thing I got to say about Robert Hiltzig is that he's good with the kills. He's pretty inventive with the murders. Uh, the ending's good. Some of the acting is unique, but Flissa Rose and the girl that plays Judy as well, her right there, she's actually pretty good too. Now there's a ton of stuff on here. There's like a new commentary. There's an original commentary that was done before. There's even like a short film, Judy, but what happened to Judy years later. You don't remember Judy's like attack? See, Judy, we think Judy dies in this film because she's attacked with the curling iron. I won't go any further than that. But she doesn't. And there's actually a short film on here called Judy, worth checking out as well, by the way. And I think it was made by the guy, it was made by the girl that played Judy, and I think it was done by the guy that actually did, hey Brian, the Sleepaway camp like website. Because there's like, for years there was this guy that had this official Sleepaway camp website, and he was like keeping the fires going, the home fires going for this thing. He was like super into it, and it was a website. There's all kinds of stuff on it, and interviews and everything. So anyway, definitely worth having. Sleepaway Camp is good. It's underrated for what it does, and I said its flaws, but I still think it's one that does need to be owned in a collection. You can't have a slasher collection and not say not have Sleepaway Camp there. It's a must if you collect slasher films. It's definitely that's like having a slasher collection, not having the Friday 13th films. You just gotta have them. You like Wax Mask? The features are really good too. Trust me, you'll really like the features. Beyond Fulci especially. Excellent stuff. Excellent. Let me know what you think. Some people on Blu-ray.com, I think it was Blu-ray.com, complained about the fact that they thought the Wax Mask was too brightly lit. I did not think so. But if you find it a little bit too brightly lit, there's a switch on your TV that can dim it down a little bit. Some people just like to complain. Exactly. I'm sure those people also thought the Bava films were too brightly lit. Or maybe, yeah, see, same here. Or maybe they thought, oh no, what's this Suspiria thing? What's all these colors? Those same people would probably not watch a black and white film if it landed in their lap. Just say it. All right, Sleepaway Camp 2. There's my rant for tonight. Suspiria is really good. The original. The jury's still out on the remake for me. Sleepaway Camp 2. Initially, was Felicia Rose going to come back? She did audition. But the thing is that I haven't really sat down to watch it all yet. And I'll be honest with you, Michelle, I haven't got through it. I've tried a couple times. I got to get in the right mindset, I guess. But they hired this other actress, Pamela Springsteen. Who was a better fit for this Angela Baker? Obviously, you can't picture Pamela Springsteen in the original one with the silent, kind of serious Angela Baker. But for the kind of wackier 80s satirizing slasher films, Angela Baker, Pamela Springsteen, Bruce Springsteen's sister, and now a world famous photographer who doesn't talk about these films at all, by the way, she kills it. She really kills it. I agree, Michelle. This is the best one out of all of them. The second one is the best in my opinion. Like for me, the first one I think everybody should own it, and it's a good film. The second one is really, really good. One of the best things about that, one of the neat things about this, there's like all these little touches, but the whole, like a lot of the campers and the even some of the counselors and stuff are named after like Brat Pack actors, which is kind of ironic since Renee Estevez, actually, Emilio Estevez's sister, actually is one of the stars of the film. It's got a great cast overall. It's got Brian Patrick Clark in here as well, who for me, he's the guy from like General Hospital. For most people, I'm guessing he's going to be from like some other films. It's got Walter Goddell, who plays Uncle John. I think he was in James Bond. If Jace was here, he'd be able to say. He's in a James Bond film, I know that at least. This is a good one. It's fun, it's funny. You will have the I'm a Happy Camper song stuck in your head for days. Trust me, you won't mind it either. Well, maybe a bit, because I just got stuck in my head right now. This is an extremely fun satirical film. It kind of gently pokes fun at like the slasher film trope, and it does it really well. Pamela Springsteen knows exactly what she's playing here. Everybody seems to. Everybody seems to be on the same page. They know exactly the film they're making, and they do it seriously, tongue through cheek. There's like mentions and homages and winks at other characters. It's probably one of those. It's probably one of the slash films that you can watch and feel pretty chipper and upbeat afterwards. Victor Newman. He was on like Eric Braeden. He was in a lot of movies back in the day. Colossus, The Foreman Project. He was on the Werewolf episode of like Kolchak the Night Stalker. And that's the thing. That's the key thing with something like this. You have to know exactly what you're making, and you have to be 110% invested in that. And in this one, they are 110% invested in it. There are some great features on there. There's the first part of a fantastic documentary called A Tale of Two Sequels. Hey, Rich. The Foreman Project. Colossus, The Foreman Project. Not The Foreman Project. That sounds like a sequel to like that 70s show. I haven't seen the last couple episodes of AHS 84. I've only seen the first two so far. Is that the 80s documentary that you're going to mention? Because I know they were talking about that a lot, like promoting it a lot, like over some YouTube channels. And apparently they're doing some that are specific, like there's like I guess there's something extra on it. Like there's a Dead Meat specific one for, I guess, Into the Darkness or something like that. And there may be specific to other ones as well. That's the one. Number 3. This is the one that people get problematic with. Now, you have to understand that number 3 was made directly after number 2 with the same people and the same, well, preliminary cast, with, of course, new cast members coming in for the third part. I know I want the documentary so bad. Now, here's where it gets interesting. They pretty much did everything in part 2. Yep, they filmed them simultaneously, right? Directly after one, right after the other. Oh, nice. Leviathan's fun. But you could tell that by the time that they did this one, Pamela Springsteen was tired. It was kind of plain to that fact, actually, in that it's rather than a camp counselor, she's like now a camper, and it's a whole, kind of like underprivileged versus with rich people put together to be, you know, an eye-opening experience. The camp counseling experience is pretty much a rip-off. Does have Michael J. Pollard in this movie. Yes, that is the same guy that was in like movies like Bonnie and Clyde, and of course was in like Star Trek the original series back in the day. He played Mr. Mxyzptlk in the Adventures of Superboy. And he plays an interesting character in this one here as well. He's pretty much kind of getting a paycheck, but it's fun overall. It's a fun film. It was cut much like Friday the 13th Part 7. It had a lot of its gore sequences cut out of it. There are like uncut sequences, in the film, like kind of like deleted scenes. I think it's needed. It's a continuation of Part 2, and it continues a lot of the storyline that's been set up in Part 2. Is it perfect? No. Is it is it completely bad? I mean, like, go watch Return to Sleepaway Camp. This thing's going to seem like a masterpiece to you. I think the worst thing that I can say about Sleepaway Camp 3, it had to follow Sleepaway Camp Part 2. Think about that for a second. How much did we all just mention liking Sleepaway Camp 2? Think about how good Sleepaway Camp Part 2 was. It had to follow that. That's no easy feat. Oh, Wheels, have a good one there. So next time you kind of like rag on Part 3 a bit and stuff like that, just remember what it did. It was a tall order. It's a bit of a brave thing to do, and it did it well. Overall, Sleepaway Camp Part 3 did a decent job. I was never bored in Sleepaway Camp Part 3. Was it as fun? Were the cast members like as good? Did all the jokes like hit as well? Probably not. But they took the chance, and overall, they pretty much got there. I think a bit more kills would have helped it a bit, or a bit like actually seeing more of the kills would have helped it a bit. But Pamela Springsteen was still on par. Was which one are they coming on? Oh no, you're in there like 28 minutes in. It's not too bad. Oh yeah, it does make sense. Like when you talk about the Superman movies were done like that too, except they lost the director like part of the way through the second Superman movie, and they had that they reworked the ending. And still, I'm not going to lie to you, I do like the Lester, the original theatrical version of Superman 2 better than I do like the real one. Probably because I like Marlon Brando being out of Part 2, and the mother getting like Lara, getting getting to be in the film. What's my favorite franchise? Probably Friday the 13th. Like overall, as in fun, as in like a fun franchise. It's probably the one I enjoy most. Like I love the Halloween franchise. Nightmare on Elm Street's fantastic. Phantasm doesn't have like a bad one. Do I like Troll 2? I do like Troll 2 JL. See, Troll 2 has something special about it for me that's got Claudio Fragasso. And if you guys have watched my channel, especially recently, you know that I'm a big fan of like Italian horror. And I'm a really big fan of like the Italian horror directors that don't get the credit that like people like Argento or Martino or Fulci get. And two names that really spring to mind. I do like the Psycho franchise. I love it a lot actually. Part 4 I really love. And Part 2 is almost as good as Part 1. Maybe slow. The documentary, Rob Gluzzo from Shockwaves and Just to This podcast, he did the documentary, the Psycho Legacy, which is fantastic. He also like moderates the commentary for the Psycho remake, and for that alone, it's worth getting. To be honest with you, because Rob Gluzzo is the ultimate Psycho fan. So, the Troll 2 documentary, also really good. Best worst movie. The Troll ones, there aren't these two of the ones that are going into print too? So, about that, by the way, guys. So, all this stuff going into print, is it mostly MGM releases or MGM related releases? Does anybody kind of like notice that? With all the Scream Factory stuff's going out of print. A lot of it looks like MGM related releases. It's all MGM. Which makes me wonder, Danny, and this is just, speculation. Could this be the first of more? Could this list get bigger? There are other MGM releases that Scream Factory has. Depending on when they got them and what deal they got them in. Could this be the tip of the iceberg when it comes to that list? Hey, Dungeon Studio, welcome, man. Like, go back and look at all the stuff that's MGM related. That, like, a lot of the early Scream Factory stuff was done throughout an MGM deal. Did you hear about all the canceled horror films? Well, probably not. You can mention them, though. I'm nervous we might lose more. I knew it. Thank you, Danny. I freaking knew it. There's more coming. Which makes me wonder what I got to get. If anybody's got an extra copy of Destroyer, it's a Sanity double feature, feel free to send it my way. I stupidly thought it not being as popular as some of the other ones would be one I could wait on to get any time. Now I can't. I blame Victor Miller, Rich. I really do. I blame Victor Miller. Damn you! This is Victor Miller's fault. This is all because of Friday the 13th. Which is good. You made a nice movie with Friday the 13th, Victor Miller. However, you just reverse engineered Psycho. I know what you did. Yeah, there's been a big... I think a lot of that is coming up with like studio canal deals. You're seeing a lot of stuff come out like with like Bob Gambler and stuff like that coming out like on Kino, and because a lot of that stuff was not anytime soon with the way stuff is going, Amy. Unfortunately, I wish that needs to be shut down now because that's going. He's right. That's going to cause a lot of films to and franchises to get looked at and possibly potentially canceled or get put up in court, and we don't want to see that happen. Greed is an awful thing, dudes, but it happens. And I'm not belaboring that Victor Miller doesn't deserve his share. He does deserve a share. Sean Cunningham could have shut this down, just gave him some money. That would have been it, hopefully. But no, they wanted to go for the big payoff. If that's the case, if Victor Miller wouldn't have gone for a payout and really wanted to go for the big payoff, then I do lose a bit of respect. If this is Sean Cunningham just being greedy, not willing to pay him anything at all, and so it kind of like you basically rolling moss, right? Rolling stone, gather moss, and it got out of hand. Then that's on Sean Cunningham. I am not behind the scenes. I do not know. All I know is that affects me in the way that I don't get any more Friday 13th content in the Friday 13th video game, or any more Friday 13th films coming out, or the proposed Friday 13th TV series, or any more Friday 13th like comics or novels, because all that is on hold. Now, because of that 25-year clause, other people can do this. And to make matters worse, to really kick you in the gut, this, the Friday the 13th franchise that Victor Miller is grabbing for, Ron Mars wrote most of that. Ron Mars created, he doesn't get talked about. Ron Mars never gets talked about. He's the guy that created Jason. He's the guy that gave us the mythos that we follow in Friday the 13th. Not Victor Miller. Victor Miller created Pam Voorhees. He created Jason as a character that died and does a jump scare in the lake. That's it. That's all. That's the extent of Victor Miller with Jason. Ron Mars created the psychology behind Jason. He definitely killed it with the final girl, with Jenny, and with Dane as well in part 3. And he put in everything, all the things that you'd become familiar with. The hockey mask, just the way that he stacks nails, the endings. He did that. He did part 2 and 3. That's Ron Mars. But oh yeah, unfortunately, dude, there's that's the reason. Think about it, Halloween came out and became majorly successful. Can you imagine there not being a Friday the 13th movie following that, considering the major success of Halloween? You know that was going to happen. And it was going to happen. Blumhouse was very interested in it too, by the way. But this here lawsuit, basically the way it works is that, say you're a writer, you're a screenwriter, okay? And you write a film. So that film, is sold. You sell the film to a producer director. After 25 years, you have the right to try to regain your intellectual property. So there's a 25-year period that you can't. That basically, okay, you sold it, it's gone for 25 years. After those 25 years are up, now the windows open up again for you to try and get back the rights to that property. That's what the 25-year clause that they're talking about are. For Hell It Came. It sounds familiar. I think I have. Is that an older one? I would love to see a Friday 13th movie in winter. Exactly, it does. Well, Michael Jackson bought all of the Beatles songs. I can understand why Paul McCartney got upset with him after that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Rob Zombie Halloweens. There are people that are fans of them, and that's for each their own, right? I haven't seen Chernobyl. People keep asking me to watch it. I'll be honest with you, but from what I hear, it's horror. I actually don't know anything about the miniseries at all. I just know that people say it's great. I don't know. Is it actually based on Chernobyl? Is it a horror thing on its own? I really don't know. I watched the second episode of Creepshow. Apparently, I gotta watch this Chernobyl. And it was good. Again, the problem for me with Creepshow is I don't care if it seems like he's too much like the Crypt Keeper. Oh yeah, it's on Shudder actually. They're up to episode 3, which I'm going to watch later on tonight. The creep's got to talk. He's got to talk. They can't keep doing this. If they go for a second season, it's probably the first season's done now. Give him a voice. Give him a voice. 2 stories per episode. The first story is usually kind of fairly solid, but it's pretty standard. Uh, and the second story is more experimental and usually creepier. That's what I've noticed with episodes 1 and 2 of Creepshow. And Head of the House freaked me out. That was a good one. Now the first episode part of it of Creepshow, it's not giving too much away in saying that there was like it's a werewolf type of thing. It's pretty obvious. But the second part of part 2, the finger, I don't want to give away at all. Because, one, DJ Quayles kills it in that episode. 2, the special effects in the finger are fantastic. 3, we get this cool, unique character called Bob, which I won't elaborate on anymore. Just please watch it. It's really freaking good. Haven't seen The Man in the Suitcase yet, so don't tell me about that one, Joey. There's going to be 13 episodes in the first season, I think. I'm just going to check to make sure, though. Oh, 7. 7 episodes in the first season? That can't be right. Is there 7? There was. Man, Tales from the Crypt, I hope it gets a physical release. I really do. I hope Shudder gives it a physical release. Have a good night there. Enjoy your evening. Enjoy your Friday. I'm so glad it's the weekend. Tales from the Crypt is getting to the point right now where it's almost as many resurrections as Creature from the Black Lagoon. M. Night Shyamalan was supposed to do Tales from the Crypt, but and he's going to make it a Tales from the Crypt world, like a whole universe, Tales from the Crypt universe. And then that got canceled. And then somebody else was supposedly working on Tales from the Crypt, and that got canceled. And right now, Tales from the Crypt, as far as I know, the last thing I heard is kind of in limbo with no one really behind it, which is a real shame since Twilight Zone has come back with Jordan Peele. Creepshow has come back with just see what Creepshow has come back with Greg Nicotero. So it'd be great to see Tales from the Crypt make its way back. Was there a chance to reboot Tales from the Dark Side? I kind of think there might have been. I don't know a lot about it though. Huge fan of Tales from the Dark Side. That was the original Creepshow, the series. Tales from the Dark Side, because there's Tales from Dark Side 1, there's Tales from Dark Side 2, and then there's Tales from Dark Side, the TV series. No, sorry, it's Creepshow 1, Creepshow 2, and then there's Tales from Dark Side TV series. There is no Creepshow 3. Actually, I didn't think so. I thought it was good. It had some quality acting and writers behind it. I've only seen the first 3 episodes. The first one was okay. A lot of people liked the first one a lot. I like the third one the best so far out of the 3 Twilight Zone episodes that I've seen, and it has been renewed for another season, I think. The episode that I like the best is basically there's a lady that has a camera, and she's taken her son down to university. And so they are black. There's a racist cop, right? And when they're getting there, he pulls them over, and he shoots the son. The son dies. She freaks out, and she starts rewinding her camera. When she rewinds her camera, it rewinds time. So she gets the chance to do it over again. And over again. And over again. Trying to save her son from being killed by this police officer. It's a really good episode. I haven't seen The Haunting of Hill House. I'm behind on a lot of stuff, guys. Get a lot of movies. There's only so much I can watch. Masters of Horror was incredible. Fear itself wasn't as good. I mean, I liked parts of Fear itself, but not all. Um, I but Masters of Horror begot Fear itself, which in itself begot something else that came out recently. There's a film that came out recently. That's right. You are in Halifax, aren't you? By the way, did you ever get any stuff? Did any of the like? Did any of those Scream Factories? Were any of those Scream Factory titles in Sunrise? Predictable soap opera with jump scares. That's kind of disappointing considering who's behind it. Which ones did you get? It's not. You know that I go there when I can. If I'm ever there, and you see me there, come up and say hi. By the way, I honestly don't bite. The blob release looks incredible. What features are on that? For the last couple of years, I have been focused highly on grabbing. Is the flea market good over there? I always miss it. Grabbing up Vinegar Syndrome 7 releases. It sounds familiar, but I can't remember it either. But next year, I think I'm switching it up a bit. Eventually, more than likely, hopefully, I'm moving to Morocco. Um, One thing I realized over the last couple of days, a lot of Screen Factory titles are going out of print because I live in Canada. Because not for a while, because Scream Factory just is one of the more at hand type of titles. Like obviously, I gotta. Well, I'll definitely miss Canada. Canada is a great place, and I'll be coming back a lot. Uh, Basically, I'll be coming back in Halifax, and I'll be coming back to Ontario too, because my cousin's going to be there. I've been bypassing Scream Factory for a while, grabbing the occasional thing here and there, like the Creep Show, like set and stuff like that. I passed up on the Rec set recently, and I probably should have picked it up. It's an American exclusive, and it was at Sunrise Records. Oh, by the way, Northern Lights, that Rec set, that's an American exclusive. So you might want to grab that if you don't have it yet. It's at risk of not getting it myself. Just letting you know, it's at Sunrise Records. I always wondered why it wasn't showing up on Amazon.ca. I checked last week when my better half was in town. We didn't have a lot of cash on us. That's why I got one Scream Factory title, and I didn't get a box or anything like that. But I think a lot of them are. I mean, like there's certain ones that I'm sure the other companies are going to pick up on. Like Terror Trams picked up by Scorpion releasing and all that stuff, right? But to be honest with you, some of the titles that are going probably aren't going to be picked up any time in the near future because one they're they may not have been the best sellers for Scream Factory. Another reason is that some people may not want to take a chance on some of those releases. Uh, let's look at the list of haunted. I haven't gone to many haunted attractions. I went to there's like a haunted like tour in St. John's. Apparently, a lot of ghosts at St. John's, and we used to go to this this guy would do up his house and he would do it up. This guy was amazing. He did up his house to make this like haunted thing, and it was outside. It was incredible. He freaked me out a lot. He became mayor actually, a young mayor too. So in St. John's I used to, but here in Nova Scotia, not so much. Northern Lights will probably know more about Nova Scotia's haunted attractions than I would. I'm a newbie here. But yeah, let's do it. Okay. Releases. Things like the Anvil Horror Trilogy may come out again. Oh, there is Haunted Castles in Newfoundland. However, Anvil Horror 3 in 3D, maybe not so much. 3D was popular and 3D TVs were popular around the time that the set came out. Hence, the real 3D for Anvil Horror 3D. The chance of getting another Anvil Horror 3 in 3D, uh, try and get the set if you can, especially if you're going to have a 3D TV or a PS4. Because 9, 10, chance out of 10, you got a PS4, PS5, you're going to have PSVR. PS5 is really going to have PSVR. And you can watch 3D movies with your PSVR, and they look great. And you're going to want Anvil 3D, which is a film that only should be watched in 3D, or it really doesn't work. Things like Blackula Scream and Scream Black to Scream, they're getting releases in the UK, so you're safe there. You're pretty good with something like that, right? Yeah, that's right. Kino's releasing Parasite. Kino's still doing some 3D stuff, which is really good. Uh, though I don't see somebody just grabbing Anvil 3, which hasn't been the most popular film, and putting the work into doing a 3D release of it, because they're not going to be able to use the one that's already out there. Destroyer Edge of Sandy is not something that I see coming back anytime in the near future. I would be very surprised. And if it does, I don't know, maybe something like Code Red gets it and we get like a bare bones release, and none of us wants that. Empire of the Ants, Jaws of Satan are two other ones that Empire of the Ants I can see maybe getting another release down the road. Jaws of Satan, probably not actually. Garbage Pail Kids, unless the UK gets it, I don't see another release of that one coming. I Madman is the one I want. I would kill to own I Madman. It's one that I really, really like, but I've never been able to find it. Uh, and now it's sold out. So, and I just worry that Scorpion Releasing or Code Red are going to get I Madman, and we're not going to get as good a release. 90s films like Stigmata, it's excruciatingly bad, but in a good way. I thought it was fun. I mean, I'll be honest with you. If you didn't like Garbage Pail Kids, or if you come in new to Garbage Pail Kids and you don't like that type of stuff, you're not. It's not going to win you over. If you got the nostalgia for the Garbage Pail Kids, the stickers, and you kind of remember the movie and Anthony Newley and all that type of stuff, you're going to have fun with it. For me, it's around that time period that I was watching that stuff and I was starting to get into the cult films, so it does have like a bit of a you know a bit of a feel for me. Without Warning is another one that'd be interesting, that I don't see being re-released. If anybody releases Without Warning, if Vinegar Syndrome could get their hands on it, maybe. That's gonna be cool. Godzilla Marathon, or you could get like Criterion Channel and you just gotta watch them all anyway. Uh, Tentacles and Reptilicus, I don't see that getting a release, a re-release. Like those there that I just mentioned. Yeah, that's the thing. There's still Garbage Pail Kids cards, not as good as the originals though. But that's my thoughts anyway. Those are some of the ones that I think are probably not going to get released or brought back anytime soon. So Wild Bunny in your area? Oh, that's cute. Danny just let us know the Sleepaway Camp films are still on Barnes & Noble, so people, you still have a chance to get some. Oh, yeah. Last time I checked it was anyway. Direct from Shadow is a little bit too expensive for me right now. I wish. If anybody ever wants to give me a Christmas present, I'm Madman or Destroyer Edge of Sanity. Good, good thought for that. Just gonna put that out there. I like the Stigmata, and the features on Stigmata are actually really good. Me too. I have the same. Patricia Arquette and Roseanne Arquette. Yeah, there was like a bunch of Godzilla films. Even a couple that aren't in the set actually were on the Criterion Channel. You might want to check it out. Oh, I'm so gonna go to the doctor. I'm in such pain right now. I thought I'd feel better after this, but no, my ear is hurting, and the doctor's not up to Tuesday, so that sucks. My ear, it's totally plugged off, so I've been like taking some drops to try and get it to fix up. But I'm probably gonna go to the doctor. I can see the live dabble thing. Shopping mall. You guys know the story behind shopping mall with me, right? We we do, but the thing is, my doctor's out of is kind of out of like out of the office till Tuesday. So and I don't really want to go to. The thing is, there's not. There was a nice detail about this one. There's in my area in Cape Breton, we have like less hospitals than I would in like in St. John's or something like that. So unfortunately, for me, but if you had a good doctor, which I do, is fantastic. Unfortunately, getting to see a doctor is a problem. I'm waiting on it, Warlock. I'm waiting to see it for the sale. Oh, chopping. Oh yeah. So back in the days of VHS, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, I was looking towards. Warlock's right. I was looking towards actually starting my own distribution. What I planned to do was buy a few films that at that time were in kind of rights were out there to get them. All I had to do was, you know, buy the negative, claim the rights, and work on doing some stuff like that. Oh, I hope mine doesn't last that long. Dude, sorry, man. But the first movie that I looked at buying the rights up for was a movie called was Chopping Mall. Went into it a lot. I thought about it, and I was getting ready to go for it. I was gonna like pull the trigger finally. Uh, at the end of the day, though, I moved away, and I ended up like forgetting about it, and not doing it. About a year later, the rights to Chopping Mall was, well, of course, were taken up, and I always regretted it. I think it came out on like maybe it was MGM or something like that. But yes, I almost had owned the rights to I almost owned Chopping Mall. Indeed. My oldest says that. She says that. Indeed. It's kind of like, which is a joke with us because we used to watch wrestling together. And there was this group on in wrestling called Kai and Tai. So Kai and Tai were these two Asian wrestlers. And they would basically talk in like, they would talk in their own language. And was it Funaki? Funaki would say, at the end of whatever was being said, he would just say one thing. It was one word. It was his catchphrase. It would be "indeed." That's all he would say. I kind of like later on when they did the damn thing with but it was really cool. The wait time, exactly. Taki Michinoko. It was the most like proficient wrestler of the two. Funaki actually became like a an announcer later on, but for me and for my daughter, Mimi, he will always be the guy that says "indeed." I do. She Lita debuted with oh God, what's his name? It was a Mexican wrestler. No, what's his name? I can't remember his name right now. Because what happened? He ended up like feuding with Matt Hardy, and she ended up going with Matt Hardy. Uh, that's like the storyline that started that. Healthcare. You seem to be like kind of obsessed with the healthcare thing there. Uh, you're kind of curious about it, right? Hospital horror films. I haven't seen the new Pet Cemetery one yet, so I really don't know. S.A. Rios, that's his name. Thank you, Rich. Cold Parade 2, or Frit Wilt, which I'll always call it, because I actually saw it as Frit Wilt. Um, okay, when it comes to like the healthcare here, it's we have a free healthcare system. That being said, larger areas are going to have better healthcare, less of a wait because more people are going to go towards the larger money to the larger areas, to the bigger centers. But at the end of the day, it's you know it's still like a decent free healthcare system with obviously a lot of issues that had to be worked out and ironed out. But you need you guys need it like over there in the U.S. You need to do that. You need to kind of move away from privatization, which we're moving, which some of us are moving a little bit towards, and that makes me nervous. Um, I move towards an actual healthcare system that the rest of the world got. You got a country that's so ahead of everybody in so many things. Like U.S. rocks. I'm not going to lie. You're great. Um, so much to be jealous of. Just a couple things you got to get down. Same here, like Canada. We do so many things that I think are really good, but still, lots to work on. I'm not getting into the presidential thing. We know where this is going anyway. Uh, if that dude doesn't like end up with handcuffs, like I'm gonna be really surprised. Uh, every country has issues like with healthcare or different things. Like some less than others, obviously. Uh, oh yeah, this is definitely a political free zone. Politics just drive you crazy, man. The only time we're going to talk about politics is if it's like Tripper or something like that. You know, one of those horror films. Well, that's when we talk about politics. Uh, well, that won't be politics. That'll be like a dude wearing a Reagan mask. Oh yeah, like on a yeah. That's what I just mentioned was Tripper. Yeah. At the end of the day, guys, the reason I don't is because I know that people come in with different thoughts and opinions, and I just want everybody to come in and feel comfortable and just be able to chill. Uh, you know, it's a movie club. That's the you know the that's why I try to gloss over that stuff. No, no, dude, that's okay. You didn't ask politics, you asked about the healthcare system, which was a genuine question. Uh, that's why I don't mind answering stuff like that. You know, got us into hospital horror, which actually is kind of cool. X-ray, remember X-ray? Because I remember X-ray. It had Barbie Ben. Such a good. Well, Kingdom Hospital's actually Hospital Kingdom's the largest one Trier series, but you know Stephen King redid it and made it into Kingdom Hospital, which was fun actually. It was a good show. Demons is great, Joey. Dead Pit. Oh, don't tell me about the Dark Force Factory, whatever they're called. One. Demon Wind is fun. You guys are forgetting one of the great hospital horror films of all time, Halloween 2. Stephen King isn't. Well, Stephen King should be taken as a serious. If Steve, Even if Stephen King doesn't take himself as a serious author, I really do. Uh, Stephen King is, for me, is one of those guys that I would love to be as good as King, because he does he boils down one of the hardest things in the world to do, and he does it like ease seamlessly. Is that he writes for the masses, and his the dialogue in his books, it's just so good. He has an ear for dialogue. I have one ear. Uh, he has an ear for dialogue, and that is key to me. When I'm reading, I can be taken out of a story Larry Drake was the actor that played Dr. Eagles. He's passed on now. He was actually in Darkman, and he was in the series L.A. Law. But I can be taken out of a story if if I don't believe the people in it, and a lot of me believing those people are having them built up right and having those people have a voice, conversations that I can understand. Stephen King makes people sound real. You guys are having like this huge like medical conversation on prescriptions, which I'll have to read afterwards. Tommy Knockers. Well, Tommy Knockers is definitely one that can be redone. Uh, Same with oh god, there's a few of them that I could see them redoing. He does. He understands the blue collar characters. Langoliers, that needs to be redone. I like the Langoliers overall. The effects did not help it. Uh, its effects are definitely a product of its time. You like the cheesy effects? I would love to see it redone because it's a good story. I don't want an it prequel. I will, I'll tell you that right now. That's not something that I would want to see. And even for people that like really enjoyed like the Langoliers miniseries, uh, the only thing that a remake can do is shine a light on the new one. I recently got a Kobo for work. I just got a regular Claire HD, and I got a few like Stephen King books on that Kobo actually. The one I'm probably going to be reading first is On Writing, which is really good. Oh, what's my favorite Stephen King like movie adaptation? Okay, well it's hard. Carrie, Christine, and Dead Zone are the three that like just ring true to me right away, without even thinking. Someone mentioned the Miss TV series. No, I don't think it did. If it did, I would get it in a second. I love the Miss TV series. I thought it was highly underrated. Did you like The Stand? I liked The Stand actually. I really did. I remember watching it when it came out. I kind of needed to go with the Miss Warlock. It did deviate from the book a bit, a lot. Sorry, from the novella a lot. So that's why I didn't go with it. Maximum Overdrive, and I do love the Miss and Maximum Overdrive, but I tried to stick with ones that like kind of stuck closer to the book because the question asked was what's my favorite Stephen King adaptation, and those were kind of my favorite Stephen King adaptations. I love the movie The Shining, but I can never use The Shining as one of the as my favorite adaptations because I don't think it is a good adaptation. I think it's a good film, but I don't think it's a good Stephen King adaptation. There's a lot going on in the new trailer for Doctor Sleep. I do. I'm a huge AC/DC fan. I grew up with AC/DC. Oh, your friend likes the AC/DC soundtrack. I thought you said Aaron, my friend. See, I read it. Look, commas. They're important. You used them. I didn't read them. Uh, your friend is right. Maximum Overdrive is an amazing soundtrack. It's pretty much the best of AC/DC with the Who Made Who song added in there. The miniseries The Shining is underrated. I've read a few Joe Hill, and I've also read his comic book Lock and Key, which, if you haven't read, please do so. It's really really good. I think almost every Canadian has when you're born here in Canada, one of the first things they do is they give you ACDC, and then basically you know, then you find out what Sunday dinner is, and beer. Joe Hill is so like was one of those authors that I definitely think should be read. Uh, I was introduced to Nick Cutter recently, whose books I haven't read, but I hear that he's pretty good. Hockey's huge, man. Hockey is big here the same way that like football is big over in America, or the actual football, which we call soccer, is big over in Europe. NFL, really? See, I'm from Newfoundland, Northern Lights, and like hockey night in Canada, dun 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 dun. Dun. I remember that. God, let's have a fence. Are they making a mixed sequel? Isn't that the first film? I'm not big in baseball actually. Uh, I like playing it. I just don't like watching it because the Meg was like two movies in one. It was like the Meg and the sequel were all put into one. You meant you're Canadian? Awesome. Doesn't have a lot of roads. Okay. Either they're messing with you or they haven't been further down. I kind of think they might be messing with you a bit. Yeah, we got roads. Lots of roads, man. Well, we haven't. Oh, a Native American will be over there. Over here, it's just called indigenous. DC Comics. Oh, by the way, any comic book fans here? Well, Labrador. Oh, the only Labrador. No Chinese snowmobiles. Well, in the winter, uh, yeah, Northwood Territories, like areas like that, like the kind of like the Far East. But okay, who knows what 5G is? I got to mention this because I want to know if anybody knows what 5G is. 5G is DC's new comic thing coming up. A new brand, DC branded books, right, Warlock? Uh, it's called. Here's the way it's going. They're changing DC Comics again. The idea that they're going with this time for people that don't read DC Comics or haven't read comics in years. Let me give you a quick history lesson on what's happened in the last few years of DC Comics. Well, a couple years back, in order to make to get DC to become more to become more popular, more accessible, what they did was they did a miniseries called Flashpoint. Flashpoint led into all the comics changing and becoming the New 52. The New 52 was basically a restart, a reboot for the entire DC universe with all new characters and jump on points, and people could come in and watch and start with these, start over. Everything got a number one issue. So New 52 worked for about 5 years. Actually, it only worked for about 1 year, 1 year and a half. Then it got really muddled, got really bad. People stopped liking the New 52. They didn't like it. So what happened? They did something called Rebirth. Rebirth went and they took away the New 52 because it was a mess. It didn't work. People didn't like it. They wanted to get back to the way the comics were before the New 52 started and before all these new stories and stuff came in. You good with that? You got that there? So they came in and they brought people back. Rebirth brought comics back to kind of the way that they were gonna that they were before. Are we're there, right? Now, next year, 5G comes. What's 5G? 5G is another reboot crisis of the comics. In this one, they're trying to get 17 to 32-year-old, like 17, they're trying to get that 18 to 34 demographic, that key demographic. And the way they decided to do that is kind of what Ultimate did with Marvel. They're going to make the heroes younger, between the age of 17 and 23. How do they do that? Well, we don't know totally yet. We do know that there's a new Batman, there's a new Superman, and there may actually be a new everybody. A new Green Lantern, a new Green Arrow. The mantles are being passed on. That is 5G, fifth generation. Oh, that's TV. TV's good. TV stays the way it is. This is just for the comic books. The Batwoman TV show is basically, if you ever read the Batwoman comic book, it's pretty much the same thing. Evan Press does great stuff, and I got to get some of their stuff. I really do. They do amazing work. But that's my quick history of DC Comics. Hopefully, somebody here that liked and enjoyed it. Well, I can't see it lasting, and that's my problem with the Warlock. My problem isn't it rebooting or isn't it switching up. My problem is it's switching up and switching back and switching up and switching back. What I would like, it's okay for Batman to retire. It's okay for him to be the Bruce Wayne that, maybe like the way he becomes a Batman Beyond, or I don't know, to marry Catwoman, something like that, and become a different character. I'm cool with that. Well, who's a who's a hardcore woman? I hope you're not talking about the Batwoman series, because that's actually what her character's like. Uh, not. eh, She's just like a kid. Batwoman is pretty much Arrow, but a girl. Okay, you scared me, dude. I've been in some great comic shops over the years. I love comic shops. Not anymore, Brian. Not anymore. Did she? I would not be surprised. Ruby Rose is intense. Uh, she's kind of, you know, Arrow's got 10 episodes. It's going. They need like a gritty character to take over. Uh, Batman's not coming on the screen. Batwoman is, uh, and the Batwoman character in the comic books is like a badass character, a badass fighter. Uh, it'll be interesting to see if they do Batwing. I like to see Batwing come in this too. My better half doesn't read like superhero comics at all. That's not her thing. She read Vertigo. She read Vertigo, Fables, stuff like that. Uh, if it's a superhero, if it's a comic with the super in it, you can bet your bottom dollar it's a graphic novel. I bet you like Jungo Ito, don't you? Am I right? Huh? Huh? Yeah, he's one of the best. Fables was fantastic. I like Grimm's fairy tales too, but I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know how it goes. I preferred Grimm's fairy tales when it was when it was less mythology, like less ongoing storyline and more anthology. The new Spawn movie is going to be made. It'll get made sooner or later, and if Todd McFarlane does it, might even have Spawn in it. I'll definitely check that out. Warlock. I think they picked the right actress for Batwoman. I hope that she can learn to she got to dial it down a bit. She's like Tom Cruise in a way. She goes all in. If you saw John Wick Part Two, best part of John Wick Part Two, her fight with John Wick. He does. Todd has a lot of. I don't know. Todd wants to do it different. Like they want to do a Spawn movie, and Todd wants to. You remember those two cops? Uh, if you're a Spawn comic, there was these two cops like Twitch and someone else anyway, back in the day, but like way back in the day. And I think he wants to do like have like a movie that's got Spawn in it, but he wants to do something different. He wants to kind of go in a different way with it. And some of the producers and stuff that he's worked with just don't really want to do that. They want to like really go in all in the Spawn. Sam Twitch, thanks. Man, you guys got some deep cuts here. Good job. Go on, Joey. Well, I really? Apparently, I got to go back and watch some more Orange is the New Black. She's super cute. I'm not gonna lie. I do find her cute. She would not find me cute, but a lot of people would find me cute. And guys are kind of taking me. I miss the comic shops. I miss the video shops. There's one here, like in a. I don't think it would work with her, but let's just say I'm lucky I have a better half. I would not want to be on the single scene again. I would suck at it. I'd probably just stay home and watch movies. To be honest with you, as you guys know, the lack of video shop. The one thing about the lack of video shops is that it's one of the reasons behind this. Hey, Hatch, welcome. It's a film, man. It's never off topic. There's no off topic when it comes to this part of the video. I know it's like a big thing in like the UK. It's got it. We don't have it here, but I really 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 miss uh, HMV. I really do. And like as for video places, like I miss them all. I do miss Blockbuster. Some people say, "Oh, not the evil block." Yeah, I do. I miss Blockbuster. I miss going into a Blockbuster and looking through their their previously viewed movies or and stuff, and they'd get in stuff that would get traded in. The cool thing is Blockbuster would take in trades and stuff like that, right? So it doesn't matter if it was a Blockbuster film or not. You could be like zooming through there, and all of a sudden you're finding like like an early Scream Factory or Blue Underground, or some like BCI release that's out of print. It doesn't matter to Blockbuster that it's out of print. It doesn't matter that it might be $150 on eBay. No, Blockbuster just priced it, like just normally priced it. So you go in there, whoa, and you get this thing that's out of print that may cost a lot of money, and it costs it, and you get it for a good price. They didn't say Blockbuster was never one of those places like, well, this is $200 on eBay. I guess I'm going to price this $200. No. Rogers Video. I remember Rogers, man. I used to go there a lot. I used to work at Rogers, not the video place, but I used to work at Rogers. I wish I was up where Barnes and Noble was at. Dude, you would totally run into me because I would be going there for Criterion time. I know it is odd. I mean, like I guess they want to market like Sunrise. Sunrise is a lot like HMV. Let's be honest. If Sunrise thought that they could bring HMV back and like do it like in Canada with and really kill that nostalgia factor, like really kill it with the nostalgia factor, it must have been talked about at least once or twice in the boardroom. I got to go to Japan. I know Brian there wants to go to Japan. Uh, yeah, Sunrise too. Uh, HMV was saved in the UK because of Sunrise Records, which also saved FOP. Actually, there's a Virgin Records in Morocco. Uh, if you go to the big mall in Marrakesh, which is huge, by the way, especially considering the malls around here, yeah, there's actually a Virgin Records there. I bought some movies there, actually. And I remember, and Tower Records there. Yeah. But there you go, guys. With that being said, and going out on kind of a high with some great talk about uh, some great stuff. Thank you, guys. It's been an awesome night. I did not expect to go 93 minutes with one ear, but I did. And I really enjoyed it. So try and find those Scream Factories that you want before they go out of print. Those MGM ones especially. Go look at see what's MGM. If there's a video store near you, check it out. Maybe rent a movie. I'm Aaron. This is the Movie Library. You guys are the movie club. You guys rock. You killed it, as always. Uh, you guys keep getting better and better. We don't have turkey. I wish we had turkey here, but my better half's gonna be going out of town, so we're probably not gonna have a turkey feast. But I did win a crock pot at work today, so there's that, right? Slow cooker. I got to learn to cook. Well, she's gone in town. I'm gonna making baked beans in the crock pot, barbecue beans. I'm Aaron. Have a great night. And for me right now, it is time for tea. And for those there in Canada, have a happy Thanksgiving.